Welcome everyone! In today's video, I would like to show you some cool transmogs and where to get them. This is just a fraction of some of my favorite transmogs, so if you will like this video, let me know so I could make more of these. Oh, and what mount am I riding? It's the Predatory Plague Rock, which drops from a rare called Geiger in Maldraxxus. You have to be a Necrolord to be able to loot this mount. Without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first transmog I'd like to show you is the Death Warden's Greatblade, a cool and unique two-handed sword. This beauty drops from a rare called the Dark Watcher and is located here on the map. When you come here, the rare will most definitely not be there. Or will it? You see, to be able to see the rare, you have to... well... die. Once you fall from a very high place, you will see the rare and you will be able to talk to it. Once you talk to it, it will resurrect you and the battle will commence. The blade has roughly 7% drop chance and goes quite well with a lot of Paladin/Alliance transmogs. The next transmog, or should I say transmogs, I'd like to show you are themed around explorers. Well, historians and excavators to be more specific. You can simply buy the transmogs from a vendor in this location where the main event to get the currency for the transmog happens. The Big Dig. You get the currency, the mysterious fragments, from once per week quest from the main guy, which grants you 5,000 of them. The event happens every hour on half hour, for example at 14:30, 15:30, 16:30, and so on. You can get the mysterious fragments by participating in the event too, but the amount is small. During the event, you will get some historical things, which once opened will give you some mysterious fragments, with a chance of a piece of gear of the Excavator set. The Historian set can be bought from the vendor for the mysterious fragments. There are also a lot of cool explorer-themed weapon transmogs, so if you're into this type of mog, I highly recommend you farming here. The next transmogs I'd like to show you are from 3 rares that share the same spawn. These are Rotfist, Zovex, and Kereke, which all spawn at this spot in the Isle of Dorn. Their spawn timer seems to be around 40 minutes and each rare drops different transmogs. Rotfist drops the Coagulating Flame Churner, Rotfist Flesh Carver, and Contaminating Cleaver. Zovex drops the Arcane Sharpshooter's Crossbow, Arcane Prisoner's Puncher, and Dalaran Guardian's Arcano Tool. And Kereke drops Kereke's Flourishing Saber, Windslicer's Lens, and Arakoan Ritual Staff. These are some cool transmogs, especially the ones from Rotfist. If the rares aren't there, try waiting there or switch to War mode and go to the spot again. The next transmogs on the list are the ZM Lightsabers. So the first, the dark blue or purple, can be obtained from a rare called the Engulfer here on the map. Before the Engulfer spawns, there will be a big bird fighting a small wave of ads. You just help it, and Engulfer will eventually spawn and will drop the blade at around 8% drop chance. The next is the red one, which drops from a rare called Xy'rath the Covetous and is located here on the map. If there aren't dead bodies in this spot, the rare doesn't spawn on that day. I'm not sure how often this happens, but I have seen him not spawning 2 days in a row. If you get a chance to kill him, the chance to get the sword is around 5%, so good luck with this one. The next color on our list is the yellow one, which drops from a rare called Hirukon here on the map. This is probably the hardest one to obtain, since the rare has a long process of being summoned. You see, Hirukon has to be summoned by a special lure. You can fish up the lure on the lake where he is with a low drop chance. Or you can buy the item on the auction house for a good amount of gold And once you buy the item, you will still have to complete a small quest chain to make the lure. The next option is for you to camp and wait for someone to fish him up, and hoping to get the sword, which has around 10% drop chance. Next in line is the green sword, which drops from a rare called Gluttonous Overgrowth, located here on the map. This rare is not attackable until you pull some vines around the area. Once you pull the vines, the overgrowth will be attackable and will drop the blade at around 7% drop chance. The last is the light blue blade, which drops from the first boss of the Zovex market dungeon. If you cannot get to the dungeon, you have to accept a quest called the Alley Cat of Oribos here on the map. There is a short quest chain which will eventually lead you to the dungeon. This sword has two variants, one for strength and one for agility users, both having 4% drop chance. And the last transmogs I'd like to show you are the ones you can fish up in Hallowfall or Ashkahet. Well, these can be fished up in any school of fish, but the highest chance of getting these transmogs are from the Floating Deep Treasure and Whispers of the Deep. While flying through the zones, you can stumble upon either Floating Deep Treasure in Hallowfall or the Whispers of the Deep in Ashkahet. Both of these have a large pool of transmogs to get, but the most interesting one is the extra large leak. If you can be bothered fishing these up, you can also buy them on the auction house. And that's it for the cool transmogs. Do you know any other cool transmogs I should cover in the next video? If so, let me know in the comments. And speaking of comments, answer this question of the day. What's your lucky number? My lucky number is number 8. A cool story about this. While I was farming reputation with Venari in the Maw to get the Soulbound Gloom Charger, I got the mount on my 8th attempt. Yeah, it was a dreadful farm, but I persevered and got rewarded. Like the video if you liked it, and make sure to use your spinning crane kick on the subscribe button and bell button as well. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later!